and welcome back to Rumor Has It Official. Let's get straight into talking about 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After. This is season 6, episode 3, and the title of this episode is Forgiving is Not Forgetting. In this video, we're going to be talking all about Andrei and Elizabeth, but before we get started, go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up. Share with a friend who also loves watching 90 Day Fiance. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll be notified on future uploads from me this week. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. So Andrei is still talking trash, just like Charlie talks trash about him. Andrei's favorite word to describe Charlie was bum, and also he was calling him a pig. I lost count at how many times he called Charlie a bum or a pathetic bum or a pig, while he just sits there putting together a playhouse and still doesn't have a job. To me, it's almost like a real shame that these two aren't friends because they are a lot alike. And at one point, Elizabeth tells him, you and my brother are a lot alike. And he gets very upset. I'm nothing like him. I'm nothing like him. And he didn't really take too kind to her saying that. Andrei is calling Charlie a bum, and Elizabeth says that her brother is her father's right hand. Andrei is upset because of Charlie's actions at their wedding. Andrei says that Charlie needs to apologize, and it needs to be a sincere one. Elizabeth tells Andrei that Charlie is like him. He doesn't apologize. Andrei says that he's willing to meet up with Charlie, but either Charlie apologizes or he won't be working with him. And what I don't understand is, why doesn't Andrei understand that he has no say or control over this situation? He has no say or control over her family and how they choose to move. And Andrei, to be honest, he is the one that needs this family. He needs this family, so I feel as though he's really in no position to make certain demands. Now, I will say that if you are not happy for someone and you don't support someone's marriage, I believe that he should have never gone to the wedding. If he knows that he does not like Andrei for his sister, he probably should have stayed at home, because I did find it very rude and disrespectful how he got pissy drunk and how he made those comments that he was making during a toast. It was out of line. It was very embarrassing, not only to himself, but to the family as well. So I do feel like he should give them both an apology in regards to that. And that seems like that's the only thing that Andrei is really pressed about. You don't hear him really say anything else, but he feels that Charlie owes them a sincere apology for his actions at their wedding reception. Now, I will say that I believe that Andrei is a bunch of talk, because he had every opportunity, also good reason, to deal with Charlie at the wedding. When he pulled him aside and took him outside, that was an opportunity for him to deal with him, but he did not. He allowed Charlie to give this drunken warning speech at their wedding. Like I said, he could have jammed him up, but he did not. The shade Elizabeth threw during her confessional when she said that Andrei is very much an alpha male, and she feels as though her brother tries to be one in the family. I thought she was being shady when she said that. It's like, oh, your husband is very much an alpha male, but your brother, he only tries to be one, So in this next scene, Elizabeth and Andrei will be meeting up with her brother Charlie. And Elizabeth says if her brother and husband don't resolve their issues now, then it will never happen. Charlie says that he overindulged at the wedding, but he feels as though Elizabeth and Andrei both take advantage of Chuck. It was Elizabeth's response that had me rolling my eyes. She was like, when Charlie was like, I feel like you and him both take advantage of our dad. He's telling him. And she's like, you think I want to take advantage of our dad? Like, why would I do that? So the fact that she even said out her mouth, you think I want to, if she didn't mean it that way, it didn't help her case. We all know that Elizabeth does play up on her father and that she is a daddy's girl, because you heard out of Andrei's mouth. He says, "You're the favorite." He said that in the previous episode. You're the favorite. So, you're daddy's little girl. You're going to get whatever you want. So they do take advantage of that, knowing that. Now, Andrei and Charlie both start going back and forth, bringing up past events. Charlie says that he doesn't feel like he ruined their wedding and apologizes to his sister, but Andrei is waiting on his personal apology from Charlie, but he might as well hang that up because it's not going to happen. Andrei basically wants to keep rolling, bringing up the meeting when he wasn't even there. Andrei says that he doesn't care about Chuck's money because he's going to work with him anyways and get the money. Andrei says that he's a lot smarter than Charlie. He has more skills and that Charlie is not on his level. And what level is that? What level? Please inform all of us. What level are you on that's any greater than anybody else? So as soon as he said that, I'm like, who lied to you, Andrei? And told, like, who lies to him and feeds him these lies and makes him so arrogant and pompous? Like, who is responsible for this? The only person that I could think of that maybe is doing this is Elizabeth. Elizabeth is responsible. She's the corporate. She is the reason why this man's head is so big. She feeds into that. She's like stroking his ego or something, but she's pumped his head up with these lies, fed him these lies, because there's no way that, the fact that he says he has more skills. And really, he doesn't really even know anything about Charlie unless Elizabeth, during Pillow Talk, has been running her mouth talking bad about her family. That's another way to look at it, because how do you really know what type of skills this man has? Now, granted, the last time we were talking about them, I had brought up the mug shots with a lot of the family members have been to prison. But that doesn't mean people can't change their life around. That doesn't diminish the fact that they could have worked very hard after those mistakes that they've made to correct that and have a better life for themselves. So just because someone has made some mistakes in life or made some bad choices, that does not mean that they don't have certain skills. It doesn't mean that they don't have certain gifts or certain skills that they just haven't tapped into or utilized. They might know they possess all these gifts and different things that would allow them to be successful, but maybe they don't have much confidence in themselves. And so they don't tap into those things or utilize those things to their advantage. I don't ever want to necessarily judge someone just because they've been to jail and they've made some bad choices, in their life. But, it was just something to me how it's like Andrei sits on this high horse and judges other people. And it's like, what have you been doing? What were you doing? What was the reason why you took off and ran off from Moldova and your family to be with Elizabeth? What were you running from? What choices have you made? Where are you at currently? Where are you at right now? What are you bringing to the table? What are you doing for your family? So I don't feel like anybody is any better than anybody else in this situation. So the fact that he says he has more skills and that Charlie is not on his level, and it's like, but you haven't really sat down to really take the time and get to know your brother-in-law, because you guys are both too busy bucking heads and trying to show who's more in control and, do all of that stupid stuff instead of just focusing on being a family. I don't get where all that unnecessary tension is coming from. And when it comes to these relationships, I feel like a lot of these family members need to just butt out, because whoever they are to you, your sibling, your sister, your daughter, whoever they are to you, they chose this individual. So they have to learn and make mistakes and figure that stuff out. So I'm very curious to know your thoughts all on Andrei and Elizabeth. This was 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After, Season 6, Episode 3. The title of this episode, again, was Forgiving is Not Forgetting. I'm curious to know what you thought on these two in the comment section down below. Give this video a big thumbs up, share with a friend, subscribe, hit that bell so you'll be notified on all the other future uploads this week. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace.